right, good evening, everyone. Beautiful day out there today. I'd like to start this off with a roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Here.
Alderman Poulos.
Here.
Alderman Geenan.
Present.
Alderman Clark, absent. Alderman Hurt.
Here.
Alderman Spargattis.
Present.
Alderwoman Swanson. Here. Mayor Tomes.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. If you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, remain standing for a moment of silence, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right. We have public comment. We have several people that signed up. First one, I think, is Doug. Doug out here would like to speak. Yes, sir. All right, come on up. We got several people signed up, but try to keep it as brief as you can. I appreciate it, but
Sure will.
get your point.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. My name is Doug Womack, and the gentleman beside me is Kevin Richardson, and we are from the Habitat Park neighborhood. And as most of you know, in many areas, many neighborhoods, they don't want a Habitat home in their neighborhoods. They're afraid of crime, they're afraid people won't take care of their property, things like that. And in a few cases, those are valid concerns. We're a little bit different. We have 8 homes in Habitat Park. We like our homes, we take care of our homes, our yards. We want to be an example for other neighborhoods. But we do have a few problems. The first step, we met as a group of neighbors, and we do have a group of neighbors back here. Raise your hands. Okay. We met on July 15th and created Neighborhood Watch. And our concerns, we think, are going to be addressed by 2 ways. First of all, to have you folks sanction and support our Neighborhood Watch, and then to address some of our problems. Our first ward alderman, Ivory Clark, is on sick leave. So next step is just asking you folks for some support and some help on some of the issues going on in our neighborhood. So I'm gonna turn it over to Kevin, and he's gonna talk about some of the issues. And I'm done. Is that quick enough?
Yeah, it's fine, no?
Okay.
Make sure you get your point. Yeah, you got time.
All right. Well, I'm Kevin Richardson, as Doug said, part of the newly developed Neighborhood Watch. We'd like to extend our thoughts and prayers to Deion Clark. We understand he's sick, and he's a personal friend of ours as well. And so with that being said, some of the concerns that we have and that we discussed in our first of many meetings to come are the lighting throughout the interior blocks. It's really dangerous at night. You know, several people have encountered near misses in terms of striking pedestrians driving down the street. We hope that the possibility exists that we can have maybe some tree trimming and the discussion about lighting being added, and address that at some point to see if we can get things like that going on moving forward. Another one of the issues that we discussed is a 4-way stop sign is desperately needed on 8th and 9th Avenue. Cars are currently flying through there, going through the one stop sign and flying in the other direction, and at least one accident has occurred that we know of, and several near misses again there, which is very dangerous intersection, in our opinion, as we discussed in our meeting. Don't know if the possibility of speed bumps is in the realm of happening, but we'd like to see something to slow traffic down on our blocks. Traffic speeds through there on a daily basis. There's been several high-speed chases with the police in pursuit, not dangerously, of course, but just, you know, cars running from the police and different things of that nature. Hopefully speed bumps or something can be maybe discussed to slow things down on the block a little bit. And again, all of our Habitat owners are on board with something being done because it's very dangerous, you know, when walking out and pulling out in the traffic and different things like that. And it would help tremendously, I think, to do something to try to slow that down, slow people down. Our alleyways are not paved, they're gravel. They did come through and put a different type of top down, but it's washed away and created potholes and it's causing damage to a lot of the vehicles that use that alley as a daily, you know, way to get to and from their homes and work and et cetera and so forth. And hopefully, sort of a permanent solution can be put together and perhaps, you know, prevent these things from happening. Myself included, several busted shocks and different things like that have been reported, so maybe we can hopefully have the council to look at some of those ideas.
May I interrupt you for a quick second?
Yeah.
Apologize for being naive here, but where exactly is this neighborhood located at?
I apologize. 8th Avenue and 8th Street and 9th Avenue is the general location that I'm speaking of. He called it Habitat Park?
Habitat Park.
Yeah, Habitat Park, yeah. Yeah, between 9th and 11th, yeah, generally in that area. The alleyways currently are gravel and crushed asphalt, if you would, and it's washing away with all of the rain. And again, when the plow comes through, it scrapes potholes through the alley, and it's just difficult to maneuver through there. And that's one of the things that we discuss. And one of the other things is the abandoned houses that are in the neighborhood are attracting a lot of wrong elements, you know. In particular, kids are starting to play in these houses, and it's very dangerous for them. We've called the authorities several times, and every time they've come out and ran them off. And, you know, you got a lot of wild animals, in particular, raccoons, starting to grow families in these abandoned houses. And then it expands from there and get into our garbage cans and into our, you know, porches and different things like that. And I don't know exactly what can be done about that. Boarding them up, tearing them down, I don't know for sure, but we're definitely wanting to see something like, you know, a change as far as that goes. If rehabbing them or whatever is in the future of the city. I know they got some things going on where they're selling lots and offering lots for cheap for people to build homes and improve the community there. And it has started moving forward with tearing down one of the buildings in our neighborhood, but we'd like to see more of that, you know, come to pass. You know, and the community has these concerns and several issues in addition to that, but these 5 issues has resonated the loudest and seems to be a great start in improving the community. So basically, we want to sincerely hope that these issues can be looked at and addressed and some sort of resolution determined.
So Chandler Poole right there in the front, he can talk to you about the abandoned houses and help you there. And behind him is Mike Bartels, the Public Works Director, and he'll take care of everything else.
Okay.
So if you want to talk to those guys, get their contact information, then you can talk specifics, like exactly where you want stop signs.
And if I may, I applaud you guys for forming this neighborhood program. You guys are the best force we have for the police department. If you partner with the police department and together work together with your neighborhood, you can make that a much safer place.
Okay. Yeah.
So the ball's in your court, and you're moving in the right direction. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate you getting involved.
All right.
I have one one more thing that I want to talk about quickly. Some time ago, you folks made an ordinance, I understand, that every new building has to have sprinklers in it. And generally, that's a good idea. But the problem is that Habitat hasn't built a home since that ordinance came to be because of the increased expense to the low-income people who typically get into the Habitat program. And I really like you guys to think about that and maybe come up with a solution. Rather,
One has been built.
built. I talked to Christy Crafton from Habitat. There has been a home that's been built, and they've worked with the city to help mitigate the costs of that.
great.
And another one's
Great,
under.
I wasn't aware of that.
And another one's underway.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks, folks.
You bet, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Kevin,
Good evening, everybody. I live at 2906 12th Street. Where I live, we have the brick road out front. I've been working over the road for 2 years. I climb towers. I only get home on the weekends on occasion. My house is pretty much falling apart after 2 years. I asked for a little bit of time off to stay home and repaint, do things. But I've noticed a lot of semis running down that brick road. And I called the police about 6 times. They give me the reason that they can't catch them. You know, they pull up, they deliver to Chipianac Cemetery, and they take off, and the police can't catch them. About the 6th time that I called, I got a hold of an Officer Steins, and he explained to me that they were given a variance to be allowed to drive the semis on the road to make deliveries there. This last couple of months, we had all that rain, and 2 big, huge potholes have formed out in front. We've already had numerous wrecks, especially with the high school kids. What they've ended up in the cemetery and into the chain link fence because there's just potholes. It's horrible in certain areas. Other than that, the street's pretty fine. There's really no reason for them to make deliveries on that road. I've noticed them go right across on 29th. They go up 29th, they go right into the cemetery and load and unload from there, and it's not a problem. But they pull out and they pull onto that road and they block traffic. And like I said, there's 2 major potholes there now that weren't there. I've been there for 20 years. And there's no reason why they don't go up on 31st Avenue. It's a concrete road. They have that little horseshoe shape that they could pull in there and do their deliveries. Usually it's just 1 pallet. Sometimes it's a truckload of cement burial vaults, and that's even worse on the road. But that's one of my issues that I'm here for tonight. I'm hoping that you can kind of look it through and if you could revoke that variance. There's no reason. All the neighbors complain about it being there. Usually you can go and talk to a neighbor if you have a problem. Like I said, I've been there 20 years, and usually you can go over and talk to the neighbor and work things out, have a problem. I tried to talk it out with the guy that runs that, and he charged me. I basically had to go back to my house like a coward because he charged me, screaming and holler at me. So I've tried my best, and there's nothing I could really do about it. The other issue I have is my neighbor, he's a 97-year-old vet. We lived next to him, loved living next to him. His house unfortunately burnt to the ground. He did end up in a retirement home, but he was coming back and forth, and we didn't want his garage to be tore down. So we made a deal with him. The city at that time wouldn't allow you to have a garage on the property without a house. They were making people tear them down. And I felt if they tore it down, it would have killed him, because he didn't have a place to go and work on things and that. But he's been gone for approximately 7 to 8 years now. And the things in the yard haven't been moved in 15 years, and they're not mowing anymore. His daughter has inherited it. The car lot that is behind us is parking their cars there and storing old tires. I mean, it's just going to be a mess. Not that my house isn't a mess from sitting 2 years, but I'm trying to fix it up. But if there's something that could be done about that, I'd really appreciate that too. There are raccoons, you name it, living over there.
It's right next to your house?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
People come and knock my door all the time and ask me if they could take the scrap metal, and I really love to give it to them. But I get a lot of knocks on the doors asking for things, and I explain to them it's not mine. So
We'll take a look at that. Mr. Bartels, who just sat down there, can talk to you about those potholes.
Thank you guys for
We'll
taking
look at the
on.
semis too. Maybe that's the only place they can deliver. I don't know what the other side looks like. I don't know, but
When I talked to them, I asked them about, the Officer Steins, about them unloading and loading on 31st Avenue, and their thing was, they say it was a safety issue because of the hill, but there's a horseshoe drive there that they can pull into just the same. I mean, they are destroying the road. 20 years ago, I had the same situation. I called the police. The police showed up. They wrote the semi driver a ticket. They made him unload down the street. And there was a sign that had no trucks right down the road from us. And it wasn't even a couple of weeks after that, I noticed the sign disappeared and the semis were back again. And the police just gave me the, you know, I understand not every police officer knows that there's a variance there. All they were telling me was we have to catch them. And if they show up and deliver and take off, it's hard for them to catch. So understandable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we have Tim McGuire. Tim here, still here? Yep.
Hello. First of all, sorry about my appearance. I just came from a wood shop, so.
That means sales are good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
We like you working in the shop.
Yeah, so I came here today to talk about some things that have been in the paper. Hold on, I wrote it all down here, so. So a couple of weeks ago, it came to my attention that a complete hour of precious city council meeting time, strategy time, was consumed by this, relatively speaking, minor ethics issue. This issue has been drugged through the media more times than, the city of Davenport telling their businesses that they were SOL for being in a flood zone, basically. So it feels like we're making a mountain out of a molehill. Mountain out of a molehill. And I hear that you guys are voting on this issue tonight, so I'm hoping that you can definitely resolve this and provide some leadership there. It does concern me because it really, in the scheme of things, is not that big of an issue. Even if every single one of you misappropriated every single dollar of your funds, $40,000 is a relatively, while it is an ethics issue, it's a relatively small thing, as we saw. You guys are dealing with massive numbers. That would be less than like 80 cents per resident, right? So I would think an hour of your guys' time could be spent doing something exponentially more beneficial. As a small business owner, a downtown small business owner, I feel you should all be using your valuable time together, positively impacting our community, and not talking about things like our meals right or wrong. We have a lot of issues. In my corporation, if you take a shareholder out, or if you meet with a client, or, anything like that, it's a business expense. You guys are conducting business. As a resident, I don't expect you to fork out money out of your pocket. I don't expect you guys to build public works for me as the Romans did a few thousand years ago, So I don't really understand what the issue is there. Misappropriation, yeah, you need to resolve that, but, valid city business should not be a concern. One issue that I think that we could easily address, I park in our city parking garage downtown almost every day, and it's free to park there, which is nice, but it's also an opportunity for lost revenue, right? So I count how many cars are there every single time that I'm there. I drive the whole thing, and not counting Holiday Inn people or city vehicles. And I mean, I usually on a weekday, I'm coming up to like 60 cars, right? So it's not a ton of money, but even if you charge them $1 a day or $1 an hour, I mean, I travel a lot for my business. We do shows in Des Moines, Chicago, New York, wherever. You always pay for parking. And while I wouldn't advocate for removing free on-street parking, from my understanding, parking garages are very expensive to maintain. So why not get that revenue there? I mean, you could utilize it, some of it for maintenance, some of it for tourism downtown or marketing our city. There's all kinds of things. You could use it for solar, you know, even though that would never pay for any of it. But I just feel like with all of our debt and expenses, that's a lost revenue generator. And yeah, so I think that haranguing people over whether expenses are right or wrong, you know, should probably be left up to our city attorney or our city manager, and they come back to you. So in summary, I hope that you are all able to spend the time together more effectively. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. We are to item number 6.
Minutes of the July 8th, 2019 meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item 7.
Minutes of the executive session of July 8th, 2019.
Move to approve the executive session minutes.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Carries. Item 8, updates, got a couple. Starlight Review, Lincoln Park and the city's Park and Recreation Department will continue its concert series this Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019, with Crooked Cactus Band. Actually, I listened to them this last weekend. They're quite an entertaining band. Dance lessons will start at 6:30 p.m. with the concert at 7 p.m. Hy-Vee Grill will provide food and drink for purchase starting at 5 p.m. For event status, please call 309-732-7246 in case of inclement weather. Outer Space Escape Room. Registration in the Outer Space Escape Rooms is free and open to teens aged 12 to 18 and adults. The event takes place from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, July 23rd in the Rock Island Downtown Library Community Room at 401 19th Street. Escape rooms are live-action team-based games that challenge participants to solve a series of clues, puzzles, or tasks needed to accomplish a mission in a limited time frame. In the Rock Island Library's game scenario, participants will have 30 minutes to find the clues in the room, open the boxes, and solve the mystery of how to escape the planet. Teams who succeed will get home to Earth and avoid being lost in space. To register for this free event, sign up at Rock Island Library's website, www.rockislandlibrary.org, or you can call 309-732-READ. So thank you very much. Item number 9.
Proclamation declaring July 26, 2019 as Americans with Disabilities Act Awareness Day. Proclamation. Whereas, on July 26, 1990, President George H.W. Bush signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, to ensure the civil rights of people with disabilities. This legislation established a clear and comprehensive national mandate for the elimination of discrimination against individuals with disabilities. And whereas, the City of Rock Island affirms the principles of equality and inclusion for persons with disabilities as set forth for the state of Illinois and as embodied in the ADA, the laws of our state, and ordinances of our city. And whereas numerous organizations in the city of Rock Island and the state of Illinois work with constituents and communities to bring forth the promise of hope and freedom that is envisioned by the passage of the ADA. And whereas on July 26, 2019, the city of Rock Island will celebrate this 39th anniversary and recognize the progress that has been made by reaffirming the principles of equality and inclusion and recommitting our efforts to reach full ADA compliance.
Now therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, do hereby proclaim that July 26th, 2019 as Americans with Disability Act Awareness Day in our city. Is there anybody here?
This is here.
Oh, okay, okay.
My name is Marissa Cantu-Reed. I work with the Illinois Iowa Center for Independent Living, and we would like to thank the City of Rock Island for recognizing this very important legislation. We would also like to invite the public to our ADA celebration on Friday, July 26th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., in which the Arc of the Quad Cities is our sponsor as well. We're there from 11 a.m. to 2, and you guys can come stop in for lunch, bring a friend, or just enjoy the festivities. Thank you so much.
Pressure. All right, 1, 2, 3. See if I don't mess this up. All right, good, I think. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Item number 10.
Proclamation declaring August 6, 2019 as National Night Out. Proclamation, whereas the National Association of Town Watch and locally the Community Caring Conference are sponsoring a unique nationwide crime, drug, and violence prevention program on August 6, 2019, entitled National Night Out. And whereas the 36th Annual Night Out provides a unique opportunity for the City of Rock Island to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts. And whereas the City of Rock Island Police Department plays a vital role in assisting joint crime, drug, and violence prevention efforts in Rock Island and is supporting National Night Out 2019 locally. And whereas it is essential that all citizens of Rock Island be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and the impact that their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in Rock Island. And whereas police community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program.
Now therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, Illinois, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, August 6th, 2019 as National Night Out in the City of Rock Island and call upon all our citizens to join the Community Caring Conference, the Rock Island Police Department, the Rock Island Park and Recreation Department, and the National Association of Town Watch in supporting this 36th Annual National Night Out. Is there anybody here? Would you like to say something there? Tell us who you are.
My name is Ethel Bassett, and I sit on the board with CCC Community Caring Conference. And I'm sorry that Mitchell couldn't be here tonight. She kind of called me at the last minute, so I'm a little bashful too. But anyway, we would like for all the neighborhoods to come out. We're going to have face painting, tug of war with the police, and free food. You know, so it's just something that we want to work with the police police officers and the neighborhoods, you know, to make the neighborhood, let them know that they're be scared of the police, you know what I mean? And the park it's at Longview Park at the upper part. And so we just want all you guys to come out and enjoy that night with us. Maddie might want to say something.
My name is Maddie Seward, and I'm also on the board of CCC. And we would like to have the city of Rock Island join us in National Night Evening Out.
Thank you very much. I've been there the last couple of years. Even if it rains, you get shelter there.
Right.
I met your dog there one year.
Last year was still good. I got a taste for it.
You got, like, for real? To test it? All right. I don't think we can do it.
Congratulations. Look forward to it.
Thank you. Item number 11.
A special ordinance establishing 2 handicap parking spaces in front of Rocky Field House at the bus stop location on 25th Avenue.
Move to consider suspend the rules and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item number 12.
A resolution adopting an internal operations policy on council pay and expenses.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes. I just want to say that this policy, while it's not an ideal policy, it is progress. And I also want to say that it is at the discretion and choice of each alderman on how they choose to spend the funds that are given to them for the ward. And I urge everyone to hold their aldermen accountable. They do not have to spend all the money. They can choose to spend the money. And I just want to say to the residents of Ward 4, please feel free to hold me accountable because I will be a good steward of your funds.
All right. Roll call, please.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Thank you. Item 13.
2 groups, A through C. Claims. A, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 2 in the amount of $85,095 to Putnam County Painting Incorporated of Mark, Illinois for the Ridgewood Water Tower Rehabilitation Project for services provided from June 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2019. B, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment in the amount of $67,500 to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency of Springfield, Illinois, for NPDES permit fees for the Mill Street wastewater plant and the Southwest wastewater plant. And C, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment in the amount of $73,017.99 to the Illinois Department of Transportation of Springfield, Illinois for the 38th Street resurfacing 7th Avenue to 46th Avenue project.
Motion to accept the reports and authorize payment as recommended for claims items A through C.
Second. Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried. And claims, D, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 1 and final in the amount of $42,907.18 to Langman Construction Incorporated of Rock Island, Illinois for the 12th Street Sanitary between 3rd Avenue and Alley to the North project for services provided from June 24th, 2019 through July 2nd, 2019.
Move to accept the report and authorize payment as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Due to the nature of my employment, I'm going to be recusing myself from this vote.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 14.
Claims for the weeks of July 4th, 2019 through July 11th, 2019 in the amount of $1,554,292.08, and July 12th, 2019 through July 18th, 2019 in the amount of $355,600.38, and payroll for the weeks of July 1st, 2019 through July 14th, 2019 in the amount of $1,573,221.42.
Move to allow the claims in the payroll.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 15.
ACH payments for the month of June 2019 in the amount of $5,037,853.10.
Move to approve the ACH payments.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 16.
Purchase card claims for the period of May 27, 2019 through June 26, 2019 in the amount of $57,070.68.
Motion to approve the purchase card claims.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 17.
Report from the Information Technology Department regarding the purchase of the HPE Nimble Shared Storage System from IT Savvy of Chicago, Illinois, utilizing the State of Illinois Master Contract in the amount of $34,788.01.
Move to approve the purchase as recommended.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 18.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding bids for the demolition of one commercial property, recommending the bid be awarded to the second lowest bidder, McAdams Incorporated of Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $80,118.50.
Move to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
I've also got to recuse myself from this vote as well, also because of my employment.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 19.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding bids for the MFT-funded 11th Street Lighting Repairs Project, recommending the bid be awarded to Precision Utility Dynamics Corporation of Oswego, Illinois, in the amount of $97,147.
Motion to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? This guy's getting the lights on.
Here, here.
I've been waiting for this one.
This is great.
Yes. Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 20.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding an amended resolution appropriating $861,709.83 of motor fuel tax funds for street maintenance in 2018.
Move to adopt the amended resolution as recommended.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 21.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding a resolution appropriating $997,600 of motor fuel tax funds for street maintenance in 2019.
Move to adopt the resolution as recommended.
Second.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Just a comment. I noted that That's an increase of $135,891 over the previous year for street repairs, just from this funding alone.
Great.
This MFT comes from DOT, right? Do we make a request to the DOT and then they give us MFT? Is that because we're asking more, or because the DOT likes us more? We know people in the DOT
Everybody
now.
likes us.
This is just an estimate.
Okay.
We do this every year. We put in an estimate, and then, like you saw before, the amended resolutions for what we actually spent. We put in there what we feel we're gonna do, and then that gets revised the following year. We get about $80,000 to $82,000 a month in MFT funds, so approximately $970,000, $980,000 a year. And then from year to year, some of those funds carry over. So we do have additional funds from carryover funds from previous years that weren't spent, but we have a project in mind for 2020 for residential reconstruction street, and so we're holding those funds back for 2020, or else we'd be doing more this year as well.
Did we end up purchasing more salt last winter?
We did. We purchased about 1,500 more tons than we wanted to. And that's why this cost, if you see, we're estimating.
3,840?
300, oh, you're saying for 18?
Yeah,
I don't have that one in front of me, I apologize.
but through about 345,000.
Yeah, that's what's estimated for this year, and it's a pretty close number. That cost is estimated, though, at $90. We don't know what the cost is gonna be coming in. We won't know until October. But from what we were purchasing for at the end of this year, that's pretty close.
And then this is coming from the 19-cent gas increase?
Well, not the increase. So these are just the funds that we currently receive. I reached out to IDOT, and they still have not heard from Springfield how those are gonna be distributed yet. So I guess we'll know more soon. They really didn't have an update. We receive the municipal estimate for the MFT funds. I get that from finance, and I'm not sure when the next one's due. And it seems like we just received one recently. But we're hopeful that it is double, like they're saying.
So basically, residents of Rock Island, if you buy gas in Rock Island, you're helping to fund the repairs of your streets?
That's correct.
Okay, so if you want to go to Iowa, that's fine, but then understand that you're undercutting your own city roads.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well put. I think we need a roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 22.
Report from the Finance Department regarding pension assumptions for the firefighters' pension fund and the police pension fund.
Motion to approve the pension assumptions as recommended.
Second.
Moving second.
Yes, so I wanted to take a few minutes and describe this agenda item just a little bit. And before I do that, if I could just mention something about the gas tax on that last agenda item. So there is a separate fund where the gas tax distribution from the state is placed, and then annually the expenditures that were approved by the resolution, because that is a paperwork administrative process of spending MFT funds, that is transferred to reimburse the general fund where those expenditures happen. So just kind of wanted to point that out. The formula of which we are, that they use to calculate the municipal portion is like hilarious. It's like 1% of this 17% of this 20%. So it's kind of goofy, but at any rate, it is going up a little bit, so that's good news. So this agenda item is asking for your approval for our actuarial assumptions. And recall last meeting, we had a study session where Keith Merlack from Nyhart came and talked to us about the valuation. This agenda item is part of an agenda item that started in 2017 after we procured an actuarial assumption study, something we have to do every 3 to 5 years or so. That's recommended. And, we came up with a recommendation of incrementally changing our assumptions in order to meet the needs of all stakeholders to the best that we can with our fiscal restraints. And this is what we came up with. And in 2017, the Department of Insurance also released a study, and so we had to amend our plan a little bit. Not to say that we aren't going to amend our plan again down the road, but this is basically an 8-year action step, and so my plan is to bring this forward to you every year so that we can continue to review this and talk about it. And every time we talk about it, we learn a little bit something more. Even I do. So we are going to be in year 3. So you see the valuation date, January 1, 2019. That's what Heath reviewed with us. And so as we go through this, some things we've done and some things we're on course to do. So number 1, salary increase. We did that in year 1, and that actually allowed us some room in our contributions to make other changes that were more costly as far as increasing our contributions and increasing our liabilities. Step 2 was payroll growth. So we're incrementally decreasing our payroll growth, and you make that always kind of, it's counterintuitive. You would think as we lower our payroll growth that's a good thing, and it is, but what we're trying to do is mirror our assumptions with our actual activity, and as payrolls decrease, and this is, or not decrease, but don't increase as much as we expect them to, future active employees are not paying as much into the pension fund. So that's why we're continually to ratchet this down, and this has a negative impact on our liabilities and a negative impact on our employer contribution. So as we're preparing our evaluation report and ultimately coming up with what our property tax levy is, we'll go to that year 3. The next one is interest rate, and this has a big impact on those 2 things we talk about. So moving into year 3, the actuarial assumptions is using a 7.2% interest rate, and we're headed in the 8th year down to 6.7%, and who knows, we might be headed further. We don't know, but that's the direction we're headed right now. The mortality table, we implemented that last year and updated it. There could be other mortality tables that come out, and we'll look at changing those. We did adopt the Department of Insurance's demographics last year. And then also last year, we changed our target. And so we are targeting the Illinois minimum 90% by 2041. And I wanted to draw your attention to the last sentence in that paragraph, and that is evaluate returning to 100% funding target each year when performing the valuation. And finally, it would be recommended that additional contributions continue to be considered annually during the city's budget process. And of course, I have a draft of property taxes, that we're, continually, massaging depending on what's going on. And I do have in there right now an added $80,000 to allocate between the police and fire pension funds, and that, I'm hoping we can hang on to that, who knows, but that also helps us tell a good story when we're talking to Moody's if we are issuing bonds this year and such, and it's something we need to consider doing every year is making more than the minimum contribution. Any questions?
Is a fair synopsis of what we're doing here, changing like the formulas that we use to plan like what we're going to have in our pension funds to pay for the pensions for our former, or, for our retirees, to reflect sort of the reality of, like you said, the salary growth of our employees, the performance of our assets and investing and stuff like that. Is that a fair summary of what we're doing, is getting it more realistic into what is happening in the market and stuff like that? And so
exactly, to accurately reflect our liabilities and what the employer contribution should be. And over time, with this course of action, we, all things being equal, market performance, number of employees that we have, how we pay them, if we're tracking on the projected disabilities and such and so forth, that we should make improvements in our funding status.
Right, because it would be awesome if we didn't have to put money into our pension funds, because we assume that our investments will make 12%, right? We don't have to put money in for that, but the reality is they're not going to make 12%. So we have to put money.
Not since the 1980s.
Yeah, not since, I was born, right? So.
Well, year to date, we're at 10%, so I'm kind of excited about that. If we could just end our fiscal year right now, that would be great. We'd have 10% earnings, but
Right,
we still have
but
6 months to go.
the point of what we're doing is to accurately invest into our pension funds so that there's money there, not some fantasy of, yeah, we're gonna make this much money on it. No, what actually will we make and what do we have to put in there to make sure that it's funded?
Yep, it's our
90%.
responsibility to do that.
Thank you. Just wanted to clear that up for people watching at home.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I will respectfully recuse myself from this vote as a pensioner.
Can understand that. Roll call, please.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
5 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 23.
Report from the Traffic Engineering Committee regarding a request for the removal of the handicap parking space at 1212 9th Street.
Move to approve the request as recommended and refer to the city attorney for an ordinance.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carried. Item 24.
Oop, item 24.
Report from the mayor. Report from the mayor regarding an appointment to the Rock Island Housing Authority Board.
Move to approve the appointment as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Just let you know, people would like to know, is Datania Robinson, Officer is it
Tanya
Robinson.
Robinson.
Tanya
yeah.
Robinson is the individual that's being recommended.
That's a great choice.
And I would commend her. Have had the pleasure of working with her for several years, and she is a phenomenal appointment to that position. I think she'll do very well.
Good. Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
When we have just one appointment to avoid having you have to read it, if there's only one appointment in the agenda item, could we just say report from the mayor regarding appointing name to the Rock Island Housing Authority?
Want to refer to the clerk on that one, or the attorney? I
Or
don't know.
do we not want to have people's names listed in the agenda?
Well, it'd be information that's going to be public
Yeah, it's
anyway,
public.
so I don't think there'd be any harm in it. But it depends on, I don't know how difficult that might be for the clerk, so I don't want to speak for her on her position.
We
but-
do a little bio on them, but
Yeah, we could still have the memo attached, but then
name on there.
if you just have the name in the agenda, I mean, we've done this for every year that we've been up here, you know,
Yes.
where a report from the mayor regarding appointing someone, nobody to the Rock Island Housing Board, and then you read, oh, and by the way, this is their name. If you just include it in there, we can just go for it.
Take a look at it. Doesn't bother me.
It's an idea.
Sounds like it might work. All right,
I'm all about government efficiency, people.
Yep. There's no further discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item 25.
Report from the city clerk regarding an activity event application from Quad Cities River Bandits to hold their Race to Home 5K event on Saturday, September 7th, 2019, from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., and a resolution authorizing the temporary closure of the easternmost northbound lane of Highway 67, Master Sergeant Stanley Talbot Memorial Bridge, to 2nd Avenue and Illinois Highway 92 from 16th and a half Street to 18th Street.
Move to approve the event and recommend and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 26.
Report from the city clerk regarding a request for sound amplification for Mike Tomes on Saturday, August 17th, 2019, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. for a wedding reception at 4205 14th Street.
Anybody,
Move to approve the request as recommended.
Second.
anybody turn this down has got to deal with my wife. Not me.
Ah, yes. Now is my time to strike.
That's exactly.
City attorney, can this be shut down early if noise complaints are received?
Yes.
Uh-oh, I know a neighbor that might do that. Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Hurt.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Have fun, Mayor.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, item 27, other business.
I have one item.
Yes, sir.
I just got an email as I was leaving the house to come to study session about the graffiti that's in various places around the city. And I know that the police already have a list of them because we've exchanged emails with the police department. My question is, what's happening to remove the graffiti at this point, if anything? Has it been turned into inspections for notification to the owners? Has CCC been notified to ask them to try to help remove the graffiti with the permission of the owners, et cetera? I'm just looking for a status report from either the police department or inspections department or the city manager.
We'll have to look and see where we are, and I can let you know tomorrow.
Okay, I hope the person that emailed me is watching, because I asked.
Well, Alderman Spargattis, in regard to what you were just saying, I've also spoke to the police department about the various tagging locations, if you will, and they're aware of many of them. But I guess if there are new ones that come out, we probably need to make either the city manager or the police department aware of them, or both, so that, you know, they can work jointly with us to try to get the problem solved.
I think they're
Or at least mitigated.
I think they're aware of the ones that I'm referring to from the resident in my ward who called me, or I'm sorry, emailed me. So they know of them already. I just wanted to know what's being done.
We recently updated the graffiti ordinance to abate it quicker, right?
Yeah, we updated to allow city crews to abate it, whereas before we didn't have that. We just issue a letter and a fine.
I know we're busy, but do we have anybody doing that right now? Do we know?
I don't know where, I mean, this is the first tagging we've had. We haven't had anything in quite a while, so I don't know where we are on this. I'll have to check.
Do they have to, is that just on public right-of-ways that they cannot go on private properties and abate?
Yes, they can.
They
Just like
can
any
go-
other nuisance. Yeah, so the owner's notified, given some time to clean it up, and then we can go abate it. We
Outstanding.
can always do public property.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the cause? I did have an opportunity this weekend to go to a little seminar in organization called Immigrants Entrepreneurs Seminars. It was really very interesting to see that many people, immigrants there, trying to either learn and be entrepreneurs and or grow their existing one. And so it was a good-sized crowd. Dave, I don't know if I ran into you, and I don't know if you went in.
Borrowed your name tag and went, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So you became me for a little while. But did you go in?
Yes, it was great. Well received, and great ideas that we're a community that's supporting not only entrepreneurs, but those new to our community.
Yeah, so it was really kind of interesting. Never knew there was such a group. It's out of Des Moines that organizes it. Been bringing it here for a couple of years, and it was great to get immigrants teaching them and how to do it and with the right laws and etc. Then I guess another one is that Alderman Poulos and I did go to the Moline City Council last week and sat in on that one and learned, you know, once again, to try to see what other cities are doing, how they hold their meetings, and what type of things that they have on their agenda. And it was a good experience until someone's phone rang. But
which one was it?
But
for the record, I've learned how to turn that ringer off.
Have fun. I did then also go to Davenport's meeting of the whole and sat there, and actually Mayor Clipson invited me up front, and I helped run that one.
Oh, cool.
But it was kind of fun, so I encourage people to do that. Actually, it's really good.
I would also like to commend the Parks Department. I reached out, our Public Works Department reached out to them about an issue. I spoke with the city manager about an issue in one of our parks where it could have been a potential problem for somebody getting injured, and it was rectified almost immediately. And I spoke with the police department this last weekend about another issue of a concern of a constituent, and I spoke to Deputy Chief Foy tonight, and they're currently working on it. So kudos to both of them.
Yep, good job.
And Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank you for your support in organizing the Complete Count Committee for the census. We heard from the Census Bureau today at the Day Foundation that the city of Rock Island has the first established committee out of all of the other communities in the Quad Cities. So thank you for taking the leadership on that. April's coming in 9 months, and we want to make sure everyone is fairly accurately counted. And through your leadership, we're going to have a really good team, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, if there's nothing else, we are on item 28.
Move to adjourn.
I didn't, real quick, there was nobody out in the public want to speak. Anybody else? Okay, I didn't ask and, okay. I heard a motion to adjourn. Then there was a second.
Who was the second?
Mark Poulos.
I beat him to the punch.
Okay.
So close.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Adjourned.